This lesson, we are going to work on estimating the sums and differences of fractions. Now, I want to emphasize what we're doing is estimating. We are not working on getting an exact answer. We're just looking to be ballpark close. And in order to be ballpark, there is a set of quick rules that we can use to turn them into easier numbers. In particular, some of the things that we need to make sure, can you add and subtract zeros? Can you multiply by 2? Multiplying by 2 is used to help you identify if a fraction is closer to 0 or if it's closer to 1. For instance, these pieces with our visual model, is this fraction here in the blue, is it closer to 0 or closer to 1? Obviously, this one's closer to 1, but what I'd like to ask, if you didn't have the picture, how do you tell? Well, we can look here and start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When we've got the fraction 8 out of 10, how do you tell if the fraction 8 out of 10? Similarly, over here, we can see that this fraction is 2 over 5. If you don't have the picture, how do you tell that 2 over 5 is closer to 0 than it is to 1? Or maybe we shouldn't be calling it 0. Maybe we should be calling it half. To figure out what you're going to estimate with, that's where we need to start having a general rule. And it's really straightforward if you can multiply by 2. Basically, in order to estimate this, 7 out of 8, is this closer to 0, half, or 1? Okay? A lot of times you'll be able to just look at it and say, okay, that's definitely closer to 1. 1 over 6, is that closer to 0, half, or 1? That's close to 0. And so when we estimate these, 7 over 8 is close to 1, 1 over 6 is close to 0, so 1 plus 0, there's our estimate. Those two fractions are going to be close to 1 when you add them up. If you have the skill where you can just look at these and say, okay, 3 out of 7, is this closer to 0, half, or 1? 3 over 8, is it close to 0, half, or 1? As a general rule, you can multiply by 2 and get these. If you take the top number and multiply it by 2, what do you get? 6. That one, we're going to compare it to the bottom. If 6 is way, way less than the denominator, we're going to estimate it with 0. If that doubling piece is about the same as the denominator, it's close to the fraction of half. Or if it's way, way bigger than the denominator, that's 1. So which one fits? Is 6 kind of close to 7? Okay, because 6 is close to 7, that's about the fraction half. Do the same thing. Times 2 to get 6. Is 6 way smaller than 8? About the same as 8? Or way bigger than 8? About the same, so that's another one that's close to half. Well, what's half plus half? There's our answer. Those two fractions are about 1. Okay, 8 over 9, if we double it, 8 times 2 gives you 16. Is 16 compared to 9 way smaller, about the same, or way bigger? Way bigger. Because 16 is way bigger than 9, that tells us that this is about the fraction 1. And I'm guessing you could have looked at fraction and said, well, duh, of course 8 over 9 is close to 1. Well, I'm simply saying, if you're not sure, here's a rule that you can use. Take 5 and double it to get 10. Way bigger, way smaller, or about the same as 8?
Way bigger.
10 compared to 8? I'd say 10 and 8 aren't that far off. So that's about half. 1 subtract off half. There's half. We're done. 9 over 10. What do you think? What fraction? Okay. 6 over 7. So 1 plus 1. We got our answer of 2. 5 over 12. 0, half, or 1. Okay. I heard 0, I heard half. If you're not sure, double the top. 5 times 2 gives you 10. Is 10 way smaller than 12? Is it about the same as 12? Since it's about the same, that tells us we're going to use half. What about 1 and 6? Okay, no confusion there, that's 0. So half subtract 0. That's about the number half. Now again, I want to emphasize, we're not getting exact answers. These are estimating, just seeing if we're ballpark. About what number would it be? Well, we can do the same thing with windows here. And please note that we are doing this with mixed numbers here. 6 and 5/8, 5 and 7/8. Not an issue, we just look at the fractions themselves. 5 over 8 is about what fraction? 0, half, or 1? Okay, so that's half. 7 over 8 is about how much? Okay, so we've got 6 and a half, and 5 and 1. We'll just add up all those individual pieces. So what is 6 plus 5 plus 1 plus half? 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 plus 1 gives me 12. 12 plus a half. There we go. The width of our window is about 12 and a half units. And that's it. That's all that you're expected to do.